Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a core skill that separates the good from the great, objection handling. But we're not just going to give you a bunch of scripts. We're going to give you a framework that will fundamentally change how you understand and respond to resistance. So let's be real. Objections can feel like roadblocks. They can feel like the customer is personally rejecting you. But the truth is, objections are valuable data. They're clues that tell us what the customer is really thinking. The problem is most salespeople, they treat every objection the same, and that's why they fail. They react instead of understanding. Often how this appears is you have, hey, whenever this objection is said, I always say this, right? And without knowing if that's the true objection in the first place. And so what happens is this leads to missed opportunities, it leads to frustration, and ultimately lost revenue. But it doesn't have to be this way. In this video, I'm going to give you the system, the objection assessment framework. Master it, and you'll close more deals, build stronger relationships, and become a true objection handling master. So let's start with the foundation. Why do customers object in the first place? It's crucial to understand this to frame our responses effectively. So a lot of it comes down to just basic psychology. People aren't usually trying to be difficult. They're driven by deeper needs and deeper fears. One of the biggest drivers is fear of loss or regret. Nobody wants to make a bad decision and lose money or time. Another one is risk aversion. Change can be scary, and people often prefer to stick with what they know, even if it's not the ideal. We also have status quo bias. People naturally resist change and prefer things to stay the same. It's comfortable. And finally, cognitive dissonance. That is when someone's thoughts conflict with their actions. If they like your product, for example, but they can't afford it, that creates a lot of tension for them. And so when you can recognize these psychological factors, you can respond with empathy and address the real reason behind the objection, not just the surface level excuse. Okay, so now that we understand why people object, let's shift our perspective on what an objection actually is. So too many people see the objection as rejections. I'll say that one more time. Too many salespeople see objections as rejections. They get defensive, they argue, and they escalate the situation. They create sales resistance. They make their prospects dig their feet into the ground because they start to feel from the salesperson that they're being forced or twisted to do something. But a skilled objection handler sees objections as opportunities. They're a chance to get clarity, build trust, and really guide the customer to a confident decision. The key is reframing. Instead of seeing an objection as a wall, like we want to see it as a question, a request for more information, or an expression of a valid concern. So let me give you some examples of reframing. The objection might be, it's too expensive. Where reframed, okay, so what they're really asking, is this a worthwhile investment? Will I get a good return? Next objection, I need to think about it. Reframed, that could be, okay, so what they're really saying is, I need more information to feel confident in my decision. Or maybe the objection is, I don't trust your company, or I've seen that you guys have some bad reviews. Reframed, that could be, so what you're really worried about is, will you deliver on your promises? Are you reliable? So by reframing, you shift your mindset from adversarial to collaborative. You're no longer fighting the objection, you're addressing a genuine need. Now, if you have some common objections you get, put those in the comments below, and we'll talk about how you could reframe some of those objections if you're struggling to think about how you could change the way you view some of these. Okay, now let's introduce the core tool. It's the objection assessment framework. This is your roadmap for navigating any objection. So instead of guessing, you'll use this framework to quickly and accurately assess what's really going on. The framework has 3 key components: intensity, intent, and isolation. So first, we have intensity. This is about how strongly the customer is expressing the objection. Is it a casual comment, or are they really firm? Do they have a firm stance on this? So typically, when it's low intensity, the customer is going to appear calm, their tone's going to be casual or dismissive, and they seem very open to discussion. With medium intensity, the customer is firm, they're still polite, they're stating a clear concern but aren't aggressive. Whereas high intensity, the customer is defensive, argumentative, or emotionally charged. And they really are going to seem closed off to other perspectives. Intensity will help you start to gauge how much emotional weight is behind the objection and how much you need to focus on building trust before addressing the logical side of it. That's where it's really important that we help the client see. If you've seen any other of my videos in Sales Inception, we build trust by helping them see we understand them, not by talking about football, not by talking about common interests. Like, trust is built by them recognizing this guy gets me. This salesman, this saleswoman, they understand me, right? So it could be an opportunity to build more trust. Okay, so next we have intent. This is about the customer's underlying purpose and raising the objection. Like, what is it they're really trying to achieve? And I would say that usually their intent falls into 1 to 3 categories. It's a genuine inquiry, like the customer is just seeking clarification or more information. They genuinely want to understand. Second, objections can be a stall tactic, like the customer is really just trying to delay the decision. They might not be ready to commit, or they might be just trying to avoid a difficult decision, or it could even be something like a lack of confidence in themselves. And so they are pushing that decision further down the road. The other I've found is it could also be a hidden concern. Like the customer has an unstated doubt, they have some reservations, and they might be just hesitant to voice their true feelings up to this point. And it may not even be that they don't trust you. Maybe they don't trust themselves. Maybe they have never voiced some of these concerns to somebody before. So if you can start to understand their intent, it's crucial for knowing what you need to address. Are you providing more information, or are you addressing an underlying fear? Right? And so those 3 things, once again, is it an inquiry? Is it a stall tactic? Or is it a hidden concern? Now, finally, we have isolation. So this helps us understand the scope of the objection. Is it a standalone issue, or is it connected to a larger concern, or maybe even just covering up a larger concern? So an isolated objection would mean this is the only thing that's holding them back, right? If they say it's price and literally the only thing holding them back is the cost of the program, that could be an isolated objection. Where a connected objection might be they say it's price and it's not that they can't afford it, it's that they don't want to spend that type of money if they're not sure if it's going to give them the results they want, right? So a connected objection is usually linked to a broader underlying concern. And so addressing this one objection typically isn't going to be enough. Now, to determine, are we going to address the objection they're giving us, or dig, discover, find out more, we're going to use some questions. And these are crucial for understanding the whole picture. So here's just some examples of some questions you can use. Hey, help me understand. Is this the primary reason you're hesitating, or are there some other things you're considering? Okay, if we could address this specific concern, would you be comfortable moving forward? Or is there anything else that would get in the way? Okay. Are there any reasons other than X, Y, or Z why this might not be a great fit for you? I like that question a lot because it allows them, helps them feel like they can tell you no. I want to make sure we've covered everything. Is there anything else at all that's holding you back? Other than X, what else? Hey, if we take this off the table, would you be ready to move forward? Let's say it's price. Price aside, do you believe this would help you achieve what you're looking for? What I love about some of these questions, especially if we can isolate the objection, if that truly is their objection, they'll often tell you, yeah, if other than the price, I believe this is a good fit for me. And then what I'm going to do, especially if they tell me yes, and they tell me this is their only concern and they like everything else. Okay, why would this be a good fit? Like cost aside, timeline aside, spouse aside, why do you see this being a good fit for you? And shut up and let them sell themselves. Let them talk through it. If they tell me no, that usually tells me there's more issues and deeper issues we've got to go back, do some discovery, and get through. If you ask good probing questions, if you ask good questions around their objections, it's going to help with one, value confirmation. You'll be able to directly assess whether the customer sees value in your solution or not. If they don't see value, we've got some work to do. Second, it'll help you isolate things. Price is a big one. Price is often used as the reason not to move forward. If you can separate the price from the solution's effectiveness, then you can address those concerns independently. And then also decision clarity. Like you can understand if the hesitation is about the solution or if it's about the objection that they're presenting. So the objection assessment framework, it's your key to tailoring your response. It's not about having the script for every objection. It's having a system to understand any objection. By accurately assessing their intensity, their intent, and then doing some isolation, you'll know whether to focus on the logic, on the emotion, provide more information, address a hidden concern, or explore alternative solutions. In the next video, we'll put this framework into action and we'll explore how we can handle specific objections that commonly arise during the invitation stage of the sales process. So be sure, if you're not already, to like, comment, and subscribe to the video, and make sure you join our online community, the Everyday Sales Leader, where you can have access to my course at no cost, Sales Inception, and also being part of a growing community where you can get sales help. I'm Drew Norton, the Everyday Sales Leader. This is your daily dose of Sales Inception.